Alright YouTube, this is my first video. Just gonna see how this goes. It's on the Ruger LC9s Pro versus the Glock 43. Both of these weapons are unloaded. Magazine's empty, chamber's empty. Magazine empty, chamber empty. One of my pet peeves, I guess you could say, is watching a video of somebody reviewing a gun that has never even shot it. And I don't believe you can review anything with any kind of accuracy by just buying it, bringing it home, and opening the box. I've put 550 rounds through this Ruger LC9s. I've put about 150 rounds through this Glock 43. Now, if you're watching this video thinking about buying one of these, or maybe you already have bought one, the main reason that anybody would want either of these is because of the size. So if we compare the size of the two, there's very little difference. The length may be just a tad bit longer on the Glock. The width is pretty much the same. The height may be just a tad on the Ruger. So they're essentially the same size. Now the capacity, I'm going to have to give the edge to the Ruger LC9 because it holds 7 in the mag and 1 in the chamber. The Glock holds 6 in the mag, 1 in the chamber, and the Glock is a staggered mag where the Ruger is a true single stack. So Ruger gets the edge in capacity. Now, reliability, I have had no issues whatsoever with either one of them, so that's going to be even in my evaluation. As far as trigger goes, this trigger on this Ruger is smooth and it's light, and I'm going to say it's 3.5 pounds. My cheapo Wheeler trigger pull scale says it's 3.5, and that's probably pretty close. The Glock, on the other hand, is the typical Glock trigger, and it's closer to 5.5, if not 6. According to my gauge, it's over 6, and it probably is. And you can buy parts to drop that some, but right out of the box, the Ruger, in my opinion, has the trigger hands down. That hard, stiff trigger, it may be good for a safety aspect, but it's also good for making you shoot to the left. Now, price, the Ruger is about $50 cheaper than the Glock around here, but it only comes with 1 magazine, where the Glock comes with 2. So if you buy an extra mag with the Ruger, which are $35 or so, you're pretty much same on the price. There ain't much difference there. The takedown, I'm going to hand to the Glock. It comes apart just like any other Glock. Very simple, no tools. I mean, you could take this down in 30 seconds and have it back together. No fear of losing anything. Ruger, on the other hand, will require you to remove a pin, and that's not that big a deal, but it's unnecessary in my opinion. I mean, it's not that hard. You'll have to have a tool the first time or two at least. You might get it where you could knock it out without something to push it out with, but that's not that big a deal. Now, As far as looks, they're both dog ugly, if you ask me. There's nothing pretty about either one of them. But you're not buying a gun like this for looks, because if you are, well, I don't think I could give the edge to either one of them, because they're both pretty much the same. But as far as reliability, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with either one of them. If you got a Ruger, I'd say you got a good, reliable firearm. If you got the Glock, I'd say the same. Now, the original Ruger LC9 was a hideous piece of crap, in my opinion, because it had a hammer, it had a safety, it had a magazine disconnect. So, it was pretty much a paperweight, in my opinion. The trigger was atrocious. The long double action trigger was impossible. I just don't think I would ever master that. I don't know if anybody could. I'm sure there's somebody that can, and I'm sure I'll hear about it in the comments, but a safety is just unnecessary and just something else to have to worry about in a highly stressful situation. Magazine disconnect, what is this? California? No. Forget you. I don't want one of any kind that has that. So they really straightened it out by this LC9s Pro. It fixed everything that was wrong with the original LC9, in my opinion. Now, don't lose your mind if you got a LC9 standard stuffed in your pants, because it's still better than nothing. The Glock 43, typical Glock. I mean, no safety, external safety, no magazine disconnect, none of that goofy stuff that all these firearm manufacturers feel the need to put on their weapons in case some idiot buys one. I guess they're trying to keep from being liable for him to shoot himself. I don't know. But this LC9s Pro fixed a lot of the problems, all of the problems that the original LC9 had. Keep in mind, this is strictly my opinion. Don't come unglued. I have Talon grips on both of these. I put them on all my carry guns. I use the rubber textured ones over the sandpaper. I like the sandpaper, but if you got this in a holster rubbing up against your side, that sandpaper can get old real quick, depending on what kind of holster you're carrying. I think the Talon grips add a good texture to any firearm, and every firearm I own that Talon makes grips for has them on it. I'm not getting paid by Talon, and I'm not doing a Talon commercial, but I really do like them. But I've put rounds through both of these guns. I feel that I can review them honestly, and believe me, if one of them had any flaws, I would tell you. And I'm sure somebody's out there has had a problem with an LC9 or with the Glock, and that's just the way it's going to be. But both of these guns have shot my reloads, and I would never condemn a gun for malfunctioning on my reloads, but neither one of these have. I've shot 115 grain, 124 grain full metal jackets, shot 124 and 147 grain hollow points through both. Zero malfunctions out of either one. So if you're considering either one of these, I mean, you can't go wrong. I would suggest you go find them both, handle them, rent them if you can, and shoot them. But the one that feels better to you and the one you can shoot the best with, that's the one I would go with, and I wouldn't feel bad about either way. Now, I'll have both, and I'm going to keep them, and I'll carry both. But most people ain't ignorant like me, and they're only going to buy one of these. So if you just got to get one, I don't think you can go wrong with either one. Now, there are single stack 9s out there that you can go wrong with, and I'm not going to get into all that. And there's people that'll say 9mm isn't big enough. I'm certainly not going to get into all that, because if you got any sense at all, you know 9mm will get the job done. There's all kinds of what ifs and scenarios, but bottom line is these guns are thin, they're small, you're more likely to be comfortable carrying them, and you're more likely to have it with you. A Glock 21 that holds 13+1, it's sitting in your safe, is not going to do you any good if stuff gets ignorant and you need to use it. And it ain't here. You got it because it's too big. I have a Glock 17. I got a 19. I've carried them. They're just, it can be carried, but if it's not comfortable, you're not going to carry it every day, and that's the whole point. If you can carry one, if it's legal to carry one where you live, I suggest you do so. But these are both fine firearms, and I have no complaints with either one of them. The Ruger LC9, the Glock 43. I mean, neither one of them are beautiful. And if I had to pick one right now to give the prize to, I really couldn't do it. I believe I would almost give the edge to the Ruger. It's just so close, though. It's not even enough differences to be worthy of a comparison. I mean, they're both fine guns in my opinion. I have not had any issues with them, and if I had have had issues with them, they would already be gone. I can assure you of that. So that's my video. I hope it helped maybe somebody in a small way. If you have one of these guns or thinking about getting one, either way you go, you can't go wrong. Get one, practice with it, carry it. That's the main thing. Have it with you in case you ever need it. That's what they're for, and that's what they should be for, and that's what they need to be for. Thank you.